Stick with me as we discuss the future of computing. This thing right here is a computer. It's lightweight, it barely takes electricity for off-grid situations, and oh, by the way, one day it'll be about $30. Although you might be familiar with these tiny little computers, such as the Raspberry Pi, this one's very different. It offers more privacy than any other computer out there and is perfect for off-grid situations. Let's dive deeper into this. So I got a chance to go down and meet the developer of the Libre Tea computer, and I'm going to ask him all the questions you're thinking about. So let's get into that interview. Hello everybody. I want to introduce you to a wonderful invention that's coming out called the Libre Tea computer. Believe it or not, this little card I'm holding right here, this is a fully functional computer. Now, I understand that you have cell phones and, things that kind of act like computers, that have computers in them, but this is actually like a desktop in your hand. Now, the idea of this card is privacy is the first concern. What I mean by that is every Intel processor and every motherboard chip that's been made in the last few years has backdoor spyware on it. Well, I shouldn't say spyware, but what it is a backdoor for the government, the NSA, that can come in and look through your computer anytime they want. In order to get around that, since it's impossible to buy a computer that doesn't have that in there, they're inventing new computers. And while they're doing that, they redesigned them to make them very functional and small. So I'm going to show you some things about this, and then I'm going to interview the inventor of this. So where this computer also becomes awesome is not only is it spy-proof, but it runs on barely any electricity. So if you're thinking about going off-grid, which I know a lot of my viewers talk about that, this is what you want. It runs under 3 watts its resting time. That's ridiculous. So if you could hook a monitor to this that is a low-power monitor, low-power keyboard, low-power mouse, you could have a computer that runs on practically very little electricity. Oh, one last thing is this computer can actually go into a 3D printed harness here and bring it to life. And when it does that, now you have a fully functional laptop. We're going to talk about that more, but there's a video I did about how to print this computer, and you can find that here. Just click the little icon appearing in the right corner. Before we dive into talking about this, let me explain the video. In the beginning, it's going to just keep it simple and explain how this computer works. The end half is for you tech heads that really want to get into it. So if you're a tech guy, the beginning might seem a little simple. Just stick with it. I'm here with Luke Leighton at the Think Penguin studio, and even though it's thundering and raining, we're going to do this interview anyway.
Fantastic.
It's a sign.
Whoa!
All right. So let's talk about your computer here, the Libre Tea.
Yeah.
The first question people are going to wonder, since this is a prototype, what exactly should I expect? What would a normal person get from this prototype?
Right. You basically all the tasks that you would consider to be is good enough. So you can do. Wow. You can do office work, email, YouTube, watch films. It's got a high definition video decode engine, so you can do full HD video playback and stuff. We have an online demo of it doing printing, so you can connect to your network printers even. So it's yeah, basic stuff.
So you would say this is equivalent to maybe a computer? How old?
A budget laptop from like 3 years ago would have this the same sort of processing power.
But way cheaper than what a laptop would cost 3 years ago. What's this going to cost when it's finished?
When we get to mass production, the bill of materials for this is only $16. So we'll be able to sell it for 30. All right.
So I don't know where you can get a $30 computer. So if you had other parts laying around, like how would that work? Could I salvage a bunch of stuff from my old computers?
No, unfortunately not.
But I could take like the monitor and the keyboard. And
oh yeah. If you've got a desktop computer rather than a laptop, yeah. Especially if you've got something that's a 12-volt off-grid monitor, you get an HDMI cable from Walmart. All right, but you need the ones that are available. Wow, that's loud. You need the ones that are available for your tablet and your smartphone. All right, so you need micro HDMI. That's a micro HDMI. That's micro SD, and that's on-the-go host port. Now, what I've done is I've found a $1.63 cable on Amazon, which you plug that in there. Whoa, wow. You plug that in there. You plug your smartphone charger into this. It powers the card up from here, but it also provides power to this. Now you can plug in your keyboard and your mouse and your hub and your Wi-Fi, etc. into that. And now you've got a fully functioning computer that you can run off your off-grid.
Okay, so the idea, since this is still a prototype, but in the future you're going to be able to really ramp this thing up as the prototype gets off the ground. But right now, if I buy the prototype, I can expand the memory up to whatever an SD card holds, right?
Yeah, but you can get 256 gigabyte micro SD cards right now, which is fantastic. But you know, that's just right now. So in the future there'll be like gigabyte ones. Now, this is the laptop housing. All right, and okay, but by the way, this is not a laptop. This is a computer. Now this is a laptop. When the computer is inside the housing, you've got a thing. So I'm just going to open this up for you. There's 2 USB ports here, so you'll be able to plug in USB dongles, storage, whatever, Wi-Fi, 3G, whatever you can get now and also in the future. So when you get 5G, you just pop out the 3G one and put in your 5G or your LTE one. But the important thing is they don't get knocked off, because normally you have a computer or you put USB ports on, all right, you put stuff on the outside and they get knocked off. Just put 2 inside, close up the compartment, lock it down. Now you're done.
So what will happen in the future, because I know Think Penguin is making computers that can accept this interface. Whoa! Let's
cool.
start that again.
No, that's fun.
All right, we'll leave it in.
That was just a lightning strike only about 100 yards away. Utterly cool.
Woo. Okay, let's try this question because I'm all off track. Eventually, the idea is Think Penguin are making computers now that can accept this card, right? Don't they have a port?
Correct.
What kind of port is it that this plugs into? And then I guess this will make things really easy to upgrade in the future, right? So,
yeah, exactly. It's that simple. Basically what I've had to do is to create my own standard. I call it EOMA68. And it's similar to a memory card standard. So let me just take that out for you. There's so all of the benefits that you have with memory cards, all right, you would have instead a computer card. So you can upgrade to double the RAM, double the cost, double the speed, double capacity, without having to throw away a $500 laptop. You just get a $50 computer card instead. Which would you prefer to do?
Got it. And those will eventually be the ones that Think Penguin are making, or will other computers be able to accept this port, or does it have to be just this?
No, it'll have to be compatible with the EOMA68 standard. So that will be my job to make sure that the hardware that people have produced even by third-party manufacturers is compatible with the standard properly.
Okay, so tell me about the backside of this computer. What is the port all about, and how is it used?
Right, okay. So the front we've already discussed, which is the micro HDMI, micro USB, and micro HDMI. This side is where you get the upgradability, which is a decade-year standard that I've spent 5 years making sure that I've got it right, okay? So you've got video output, so you can connect it to a second screen. You've got another micro SD output. You've got 2 USB ports. Now one of those is is going to be USB 3.1 in the future, so there's an upgradability. You've got a few digital I/O pins. You've got a serial port, and you've got some power on the ground, and that's basically it. But the important thing about all of those standards is that they are general purpose buses. Okay, so there's nothing special about them. They've been around for 30 years, some of them. USB has been around for almost 30 years now. So they've got a future.
How this is spy-proof, NSA-proof, I mean, that's the whole point of making these things, a big point of it. So, talk.
Yeah, all right. Your average processor from Intel and AMD have had what's called a remote management coprocessor in them since 2009 and 2013 respectively. Ostensibly these are for remote management for data centers, but unfortunately it's not inconceivable to imagine a scenario where the NSA has gone along and said, hey guys, can we have the key please? Can we have the key please? And slapped a gagging order on them. So the irony is that we need to go to China to give US citizens the right to privacy again in their computing devices, including your president, who was the first president US president in the world who has had access to a computer during his term of office. Anyway, so what we've done is we've used what's called an unbrickable processor from Allwinner, and it was designed so that they would be able to help OEMs who have no real computing expertise. We're getting hail here now. Awesome. With no computing expertise, they will be able to plug in a special micro SD card externally without having to redesign the hardware and basically boot it from a special operating system off without a thing. Now, what we can do is we can take advantage of that because the hardware first looks for an external micro SD card above anything else. And also, the important thing is that the boot ROM is available for us to analyze and reverse engineer. So we know that it only does this. All right. So if you are feeling that your privacy has been compromised in any way, all you do is you download or find somebody a secure way to download a replacement operating system, boot from external micro SD, and you've got your privacy back.
So I might assume too that there's very little virus software for this kind of thing, which probably doesn't even exist yet.
Dun, dun, dun. All we're missing is the Frankenstein here. I have to walk in. So what was the question again?
This is the craziest interview ever. Okay. I forgot. Hold on. Tell me about the green aspect of this. I mean, considering a computer is this small, and I'm thinking what computers used to be in the year 2000, how much trash, right? And how much, yeah, I mean, all those things that are sitting in landfills right now. Tell me about this.
I know. Okay. The basic strategy that we've got is that you separate the computer from the functions, the peripherals. So this laptop, 1.1 kilos or 2.4 pounds, it's only got a keyboard and a battery and a screen in it. That's it. All right. There's nothing special about those. But the problem is that what the mass volume manufacturer has done, their profit margins are 10% for everybody. It's not 10% for the factory, 10% for the middleman, 10% for the sales guy. It's 10% for everybody. So they have to do things like get you on the warranty, the 2-year warranty, etc., in order to make any kind of reasonable amount of profit. So it's that cutthroat. But by splitting these things in two, you can get this. You'll be able to get this when we get to mass volume. You'll be able to buy this for about $200, this bit alone, and it will last you for 10 years. All right. So if you think of, your normal thing is, every 2 years, or if there's some sort of drastic event such as a virus or things, you throw away the computer. You haven't got time to fix it. You have to buy a new one, all right? Especially for a busy business. Let's say that you have to buy 5 laptops over 10 years. That's $2.5 grand. It's like, well, instead you could just buy replacement computer cards for 50. Buy one of these for 300, and buy 5 computer cards over the thing. But what's really important is these are saleable. You can pass them down to your kids. You can sell them on eBay, and somebody will pick them up and run them in a data center. Etc., etc. So it's about keeping the stuff out of landfill. Even the casework on here. If you drop a standard laptop, that's it. You can't take it and give presentations where the case is cracked. All right? Whereas this one, you go, oh, damn, just unscrew that. Take a standard screwdriver, unscrew that. Go down to UPS. Did you know that UPS is investing millions at the moment to set up 3D printing services in every single distribution center across the world? All right? So instead of shipping physical items, you email the UPS center locally for your customer a 3D file, and they print it locally, saving a fortune. All right. Likewise, there are public libraries now in the US where you can go in and say print out a thing. So you've got public libraries, UPS, Shapeways, a whole 3dhubs.com, a whole stack of companies where you'd be able to just 3D print a replacement part with a standard screwdriver. Just replace the part, and you've got your laptop's back as good as new. You don't have to have laptops that are made from a single piece of metal or plastic that if it breaks, you have to throw the damn thing away. Real simple.
So what's going on with your crowdsource fundraiser? How do people find it if they want to be in the first wave of these and purchase some and help you out? Tell me everything.
Cool. Okay. Crowdsupply.com, EOMA68 micro desktop. A simpler way to go is to go to Think Penguin's website, thinkpenguin.com. Click on the main page, you'll see a picture of the laptop, and just go through it there and it'll take you straight through.
When will your crowdsourcing be over, and are you going to keep going until you hit your number?
We've only got 13 days left.
13 days?
Yeah. It's not long. Sorry to put pressure on you, Taryn. It's 13 days left. We're at 81,500 now. We've got 1,000 backers. We've passed all of the minimum order quantities for the components that I've had agreements with all of the people at the factory. We can go to Taiwan. Yay!
All right. So when will people start seeing these appear and being able to use them?
March next year.
Got it. Okay. So there you have it. We got a computer that is getting smaller and smaller. I can't even imagine what this will be in 5-10 years. And then check it out that it's green, makes sense for the environment, it protects your privacy, and it's great for off-grid. It's super low power. This is the future of computers. So that's the main gist of this. Now we're going to get into a lot more of the technical side for all you tech heads that want to know how everything works. So let's talk about this, because most of my listeners use a Mac or a PC, and a lot of this, since it is open source and NSA spy-proof.
Free software. No, software Libre. It's very, very important to mention the difference.
Okay, well, tell us about that.
Right. Open source is like the guy who can't say no. Software Libre is very, very specific. There are guaranteed rights associated with things. They guarantee that you have the right to modify, to tinker, to analyze the software. Open source, it's like a subversive infiltration strategy on the software Libre movement. So it's, yeah.
So where does that come into play with virus software?
Right. Okay. Have you heard recently that Qualcomm uses open source software, but they left in some vulnerabilities in the software, which means that there are now 900 million Android devices out there that are going to have to be thrown into landfill because the open source software that's installed on it, there's no way for the user to be able to upgrade it because they've done what's called TiVoization. They've DRM locked the bootloader. You can't upgrade it. But it's still open source. Yeah? All right? Software Libre, DRM locking is not permitted. All right? So there are certain guarantees. All right? Now what that means is that even if you got a virus, and it's highly unlikely that you would on this kind of system, one, it's not a monoculture in the first place to make it worthwhile for virus writers to go. Android is worthwhile for virus writers to compromise. All right? Even if it was compromised, the guarantees of the Software Libre certification mean that you will be able to get the full source code and a replacement operating system and overwrite the spyware and virus-ridden operating system.
I'm sure you've had this come up, but
no, we haven't. I
haven't. Say if I could get enough speed on this thing and enough gigabytes, could I use it as a mining software for cryptocurrencies? Not necessarily Bitcoin, but could I do Litecoin or Dogecoin?
Imagine that you were asking the same question of a 3-year-old budget budget laptop. The answer is no. You'd be if you got 1 million of them and put them all together, yes.
Well, for $30.
For $30, yeah. But honestly, it's got so far. The scale has gone up so high now, especially with Bitcoin. You're into custom ASICs.
Okay. Yeah, but if I'm talking about the other alternative coins, or
I don't know enough about them, but even so, I will doubt it very much that they'd have the processing power to do it.
Now, this is an interesting thing you brought up.
You could pay for stuff with Bitcoin on these. That's not a problem.
You could use it as a Bitcoin terminal.
Yeah.
But can you put these in series and make a stronger computer? Can you put 2 or 3 of these computers together?
No, they're not. They don't have the speeds in between each other to be able to do that. No. What we can do, have you heard of Raspberry Pi co-locating hosting services?
Continue, because
right.
Most of my listeners have not.
Okay, if you look it up, if you want to run your own server online, you need to have an ISP who will host it for you, and they're called co-located hosting. Right now, the Raspberry Pis became extremely popular for that hosting because they're really so cheap and so low power that these companies you can run your own web server for $3 a month and still have control over it. All right. And they put hundreds or even thousands of these, and because they're so low power, they don't get charged very much money, all right? And it will still do the same job as a thing for most people's purposes. Now, we're actually talking to a team who want to take these and put hundreds of them into a rack in an ISP, all right? So, and the advantage of that is because they're in a thin metal case, there's actually you get less space because the Raspberry Pis and things, they're about 15 millimeters or almost half an inch thick. These are 5 and have a metal case around them. So basically, it's a much better financial proposition for them, and power saving, etc., etc. But also, the upgradability capability of the standard means that they can upgrade later as well, and use your stuff, the things that you don't want anymore. You'll be able to sell them on eBay, and these guys will buy them. And then go, oh great, I got this for $10 off eBay, fantastic. I'll put it into my rack and make $3 a month off of it.
So, to a lot of my viewers, they're gonna say, I don't really care so much about the technical stuff. Can I play games on it? Can I play Pokemon Go or whatever? What can it do as far as compared to a phone? But I gotta remind my viewers too, it's $30. So I'm not sure what you're expecting.
Yes, you can run Android on it.
So,
okay, because it's actually a smartphone tablet processor in here. So yes, you can run Android. Yes, you can run Pokemon Go. All right.
How does it? Where are you plugging it in at?
Right. It's can you get it down on Zoom onto here? This is the console. So this is my debugging console for for users here. I'm so sorry, it's so small.
Just explain the concept of how the hardware works. You're going to plug it into what to get it up to the screen?
Right. So it's currently plugged in. This is the computer card without the case on. So I'm plugged in via a serial port here, which is for debugging for technical sort of issues, sort of thing. I'm seeing the output here, and here you've got. I'll plug the power in. There we go. All right, that should come up on the screen. So you've then got the HDMI output to here, and I've got power coming in from here. So and there's a USB hub plugged in here. That's where I've got one of these Logitech keyboards, wireless keyboards plugged in. It works. Here we go. All right, so we've now got the cursor on screen. And the username is Penguin. All right, this, by the way, is Dev 1 operating system. It's one of the options we're putting on the crowdfunding page, and I've installed the Trinity desktop environment, which is the old KDE. Basically, it looks like Windows 95. All right, so really familiar. Oh, look, there's a button in the bottom left-hand corner for start thingamy, and here we go. So we've got a whole stack of Office stuff. If you've heard of LibreOffice, which you can get for Windows, Mac and stuff, basically it's more compatible with Microsoft Office than Microsoft Office is compatible with Microsoft Office. Right? Look, there's a word processor. It's really quite straightforward stuff. And go print and the print preview. We haven't got a network printer set up on this one. But we could show that. I've got a video of that online, so it's on the thing. All right, so quit, close without saving. Web browsers, there's a whole stack of them available, including some that are for really fast and lightweight stuff. But what I'm going to show you is Iceweasel, Firefox. Don't worry about it. It's Firefox. The Mozilla Foundation had some sort of requirement to advertise at people the name Firefox, and these guys went, well, that's not Libre, so we're not going to let you do it. So Google.com. So they had to change the entire name of the browser. Don't Google. Yahoo.com. With advertising, there might be some advertising in this, so it might be a bit slow. I've got a special update on how to install uBlock and some tricks you can do to speed things up. Oh God!
And don't block YouTube ads. That's how I get paid.
yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, we can say to people, please donate. Guys, please donate to this guy. All right.
That's right.
All right. Did you know there's 50% of the world's people run ad blockers?
Yeah, I know. They're trying to figure out how to deal with that.
Oh God. Okay. All right. So that was really slow. So instead, what you do is you go to m.yahoo.com instead, the mobile version, and it's there. All right, it's up in a second. It took us the whole of that conversation because they had to have blooming advert in the way. Whereas if you go to the mobile versions, they're designed for these processors, so it's much quicker. What else can we show you that I've got installed on here? I've got some educational games and stuff like that from the KDE stuff. So if you've got kids, there's actually something called J'ai compris, which is French for I have understood. J'ai compris is amazing. I first used it 10 years ago and it was like, what the heck, it's sort of like, yeah, it's great, but me and my daughter, we played it for a really long time. It was fantastic. So I've got another update on that which shows J'ai compris stuff running. It's cool stuff, man.
What's
what else?
YouTube like? Do you just go to YouTube and watch something?
Right.
That's the easiest way to deal with the processor.
Right.
More like a phone.
Okay, bear in mind, yes, we've got to do the youtube.com. Bear in mind this is not accelerated yet because we're still trying to work out how to, I'm talking to the various developers about how to sort that out. It's just about user voice. Let's watch the one, Led the key runs away with 800 meters freestyle. Let's have a look at that one.
Yeah, don't show it because then I have to do a copyright crap.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, well, it's watchable. It's watchable. Let's close it down. Shut it down.
Put on my own stuff.
All right.
I won't sue you for my own stuff.
Oh yeah, okay, all right.
But do you want to use YouTube, or are you actually going?
It actually doesn't make any difference on YouTube things when you go to the thing. Now, I should have a video player and stuff on here. Multimedia. Where are we? No, I apologize. Oh, VLC. All right. Now this, cross fingers. All right. We'll be all right on this one. Allow metadata access. No, because it's room privacy. All right. I've not tried this one before. There's some ones that I have been. I must apologise. I don't think I've got it set up on this one. We can do it as a separate video with one of the ones I've got.
We can come back and play once you get some upgrades.
Yeah. Well, we can reboot the thing with a different operating system where I'll be preparing all this stuff.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah. Oh,
One of the coolest things about this computer is you can just switch operating systems whenever you want, right? Show us how that works.
That's Parabola Linux. This is the one that's going in the Libre Tea. All right, so we've got a fully functioning operating system on this micro SD card. And we're running with the Dev 1 at the moment, which is what's the Dev 1 one? It's the numero uno computer card. So let's do that. Let's Dev 1. All right. So it's real simple. Yeah, I've got a whole stack of micro SD cards of stuff that I've been preparing. All right. That one's Fedora 24. This one is Fedora 24. I'm trying to look for FreeBSD to get FreeBSD up and running on this. It's tricky getting it to bootstrap up, so I haven't done that one yet. All right, so I'm just putting in new micro SD card. There we go. Now if we, excuse me, I've got. I'm booting it via USB at the moment. So front end loader, uploading U-boot. Now we can plug the power back in. And now,
once you've actually developed this will be a little more user-friendly.
Yeah, you won't be seeing all this stuff. Yeah. The people when people get it, this is more interesting for techies. Thing is actually who'll be helping out in the development, because this is one of the other important aspects is that behind the scenes we're inviting all of the free software people and technically aware people to get involved so that they can help bring these hardware to people. One of the problems with free software is, in a standard business model for software, proprietary software, you don't give the software to people until they've given you money, right? So there's a contract of sale and exchange where you get the opportunity to ask people for money. Now, although there is in the GPL license for software, the GPL license, you can charge people for money because you are competing with people who are giving it away because it's in the license. It says you have the right to do that. Nobody actually ever gives anybody any money for GPL software. So instead, people do support models and stuff like that. But when businesses go, oh, I can download this for free, I don't have to pay anyone. Guess what happens? They don't pay anyone. And you end up with all these problems with shell shock and bash and the GPG privacy guy ending up with no funding at all, The Gen 2 developer had $45,000 on his credit card before anybody noticed that he was that severely in debt, and he had to take a job with Microsoft. Right? Okay. Selling hardware, you've got the opportunity to do that. So you can set yourself up a business of selling to your friends and family, etc., this hardware, knowing that it respects people's privacy. And that's why Chris is sponsoring it. All right?
Stops. So this is VLC playing?
This is something called MPV. It's a different player. There's a whole stack of video players. This one is MPV, but it's using something called Libre Tea Cedrus, all right, which is a reverse-engineered full HD playback system. And the video that's playing at the moment is 1080p, and it's Creative Commons licensed. So you're okay.
Yeah. So don't go report this.
It's Big Buck Bunny. It was actually a video created using Blender, 3D on a thing. So pretty cool. But yeah, you can see that's 1080p and it's absolutely fine. But the amount of processing power being used at the moment on this is it's quite high. Normally when I've run this, it's been much lower. So I think I had to set this up quickly whilst you were out. Still a little bit of optimization to show, but if you have a look, I've done the videos on the updates. You'll see it's much quicker and much better.
All right, I'll try to link to those videos so they can see that. Also, before I forget, why don't you show us your T-shirt if you want to
yeah.
check that up. And
oh, sorry, microphone.
So this is maybe we can get a better image of that. You can email me, but
yeah.
You want to help out? Tell people.
Okay. Well, it's basically you might recognize this guy. It's supposed to look ever so slightly like Edward Snowden. Compute like no one is watching, because now they can't.
Thanks. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. Also, give this a thumbs up, a like, a share, or if you have something to add, remember to comment below. Thanks. Also, don't forget to stop by terranlupo.com. I have up videos that you can't see anywhere else. Currently, I have one on carnivorous plants and also how to make your own mead. All you have to do is go over and sign